welcome to the first, maybe even the final episode of the Kind of Salty podcast. I'm your co-host, Sketch, and to my right is the man, the myth, the child abuser,
Leon.
You might have noticed that this channel used to be called the Pottercast channel, but we decided that name didn't really work for our brand we were going for, and we decided to retire that. And in fact, all the old Pottercasts recorded, all 5 of them, and maybe we'll bring them back later. But for now, we're now the Kind of Salty podcast.
You never uploaded all of them?
Huh?
You didn't upload them?
Yeah, we had recorded 5 in total.
Oh.
Yeah.
I thought you just said we recorded 5 and didn't upload them.
No,
I'm about to say, what the fuck?
A waste of time. Like that time I lost 3 episodes. Well, I lost 2. But I think we lost 3 in total.
Those are the best episodes.
They kind of were, but it's a new start, it's a new channel, not really, but it's new name, new start. And I believe you got a question for me. Well, we were talking a bit, and you asked me, like, what was it?
Would you get a tattoo?
Yeah. As a kid, I kind of jokingly wanted to have a tattoo of, like, something super girly, because I thought it'd be funny. Like Mr. Cupcake from Adventure Time, because it was like a cupcake with buff muscles.
True.
Now that I think about it, I kind of want my tattoo to have more meaning. And I think something cool to have would be like a unicorn with my name, because it's like symbolizing to believe in yourself.
Where would you get it?
Maybe like my abdomen, like on the side, like right here, like under my rib cage.
How big would it be?
Maybe decent. Not like my abdomen, maybe like my left arm, because I used that and I would see it, or maybe like right here. Roman Reigns, wrestler, for those who don't know, he has like a big sleeve of like traditional tribal tattoos. I think like a basket weave that you could easily spot. But on the inside, he has like a turtle tattoo, which represents family and like Samoan culture or whatever. And it's kind of cool because like only he can see it, and people who like know him really well get to see it because like it's under his palm or his wrist.
I'm pretty sure you could just see that.
You can
if you're around him.
I mean, yeah, if you're like in person.
If you pick something up, you'd see it.
Okay, but like he'd be wearing his sleeves, You won't see him as like a wrestler. His tattoo. That's the more important thing.
True.
It's for people who are close to him and get to see Roman Reigns the person, not the wrestler.
Is that his real name?
It's John or Joe, because there was the episode in October of like 2019 or 18 where he was like, "Hey, my name's Joe whatever, and I've been dealing with leukemia for 11 years." I was like, "What the fuck?" And you could hear a pin drop in that stadium. It was a very sad time. Typically, most people hate Roman Reigns, but that was the thing that made everyone change their minds. It's like, wow, he has leukemia, we can't hate him.
Oh.
I have to edit that sound out, thanks.
No, you don't.
I do, I guess I don't know. Fucking. Would you get a tattoo?
I don't know. I want to, but I don't know if I would.
You ever like drew one as a kid or anything? Like, here's my tattoo, go.
No.
Oh. That's the end of our podcast. Thanks for listening. Yesterday I was having a fun little thought, so I'll ask you the question that I'll expound upon it.
Ooh.
Would you kill baby Hitler?
No.
My thing was, I
don't know. It depends on what the situation. Like, a time machine is made, and someone offers me or gives me the opportunity to go to that. Like now.
Okay, let me get more specific with it. I was thinking about this like this. So let's say we're in a task force, right? And our job is to kill Hitler, to prevent him from being alive, all right? Preventing Hitler from happening. But the thing is, the question is more so, when do you kill Hitler to stop Hitler from happening? Because if you kill baby Hitler, you didn't kill Hitler.
I wouldn't kill him as a baby. What the hell?
Well, I'm saying like if you
I get a choice.
I'm saying if you kill baby Hitler, like you didn't kill Hitler, you just killed the baby who would become Hitler.
Exactly.
He's not Hitler yet. So like, when would be the right time to kill him? If you are tasked with it.
If you're saying he's not gonna turn into that,
well, no, it's like,
and then you could just teach him to not be like that.
It's not that he's not gonna come. Well, I guess you could. That could avoid the whole solution. But I was just thinking of it like, if you hypothetically, if you were to kill baby Hitler, something else, the situations that created Hitler would still be present.
Exactly.
So something else would arise, unless you killed him at like a specific point in time where he was already like the situations had created him, and he was still like not mega Hitler that he became, but still like
mega Hitler.
But he was still like the Hitler. He was far beyond like a normal person. And that's like the point like where you would kill him. Because like if you
once he became too powerful, or powerful enough to do what he did, then that's when you kill him.
When is that though?
Once he becomes the leader. I don't know what the title is.
Wouldn't you have like? I feel like there'd be like security issues. I was just thinking about it like.
Just shoot that man in the head. Get a helicopter and shoot that man in the head.
Oh, isn't this fun? I was just thinking about it like how like just in a sense of people, like how people become who they are, in the sense of like we're often like shaped by our environment. Like Hitler isn't like, he isn't who he is because of genetics. He's who he is because of like what the fuck happened.
Exactly. That's nature versus nurture.
What does that? What do you mean by
That's
that?
what we learn in psychology.
Explain.
Do you think genes have more? I don't know how to explain that.
Like influence on who you become as opposed
The way like babies act,
Oh.
is that because of genetics? And like one of the questions could be like boys and girls. Like boys like playing with trucks or whatever, and girls like Barbies or whatever.
Oh, is that genetics?
So that's, people want to know, like, is that because that's what their
People
parents
tell them?
give them, or that's because of genetics?
I feel like.
And they did like an experiment with like monkeys, and like the girl monkeys would get the girl toys, and the boy monkeys would take the boy toys. But that doesn't mean that it's just nature. It's like, it's a mixture. That's basically what like the lesson is supposed to be. It's like everything's like a mixture of both.
Yeah, I feel like balance.
Because there are some like genes that become active when something happens
Really?
in the environment, and then once it does, it's on forever.
Do you think, honestly, a serious question, do you think like being gay is like genetic? Because like hearing, from like my perspective, hearing gay people talk about like being gay, it's kind of like they just realized, well, they were kind of like always kind of knew, but then I guess later in life they kind of like accepted like that they were gay. And I feel like, I mean, I remember like when this idea was first like proposed to me, it was like on a Family Guy episode, so it's like, oh, gay being a genetic thing, it's just a dumb Family Guy joke. But I feel like it kind of could be, but the problem with that is like it'd have to be a mutation, because like there aren't like signs of people like in families being gay.
Mm-hmm.
Like how would like being like a hypothetical gay gene continue to spread or stuff like that? It would just have to be a mutation. But I don't know, my thought is just like I feel like people are always kind of like, they're always gay, and like you can't like not, you can't just be gay and then be straight when they did be gay. I feel like it's
Right.
like an active choice, just something about you. So I feel like it's more than just like I think I'm gay, you know, it's you are.
Yeah, I feel like, I guess it could be, I don't know if it'd be genetics, but I don't think it's like they're choosing it.
Yeah, it's something like more so than like
It's
just
like,
like
it's between, I guess.
yeah, it's somewhere in the middle. Because I do definitely think it's kind of like you just wake up one day like, I'm gay today, mom. It's
like I think of it as like if you like have different interests, like if you like video games or you like sports.
that's an interesting way to think about it, because I was gonna be like, how, well, what
Because that's not
determines?
genetics.
That is a good point, because you're drawn to certain things. I watched this video a while back talking about like the meaning of life, and it's like it used the example of like how we're all like, we all pick like certain colors as like as when we're little kids, like this is my favorite color.
Right.
But then later in life we like discard that color, and normally like what happens is a color finds us, and we're like, oh, I like this one. That color stands out a bit more. Like, oh,
Yeah, that's true. That's what happened to me.
this is my new favorite color. Like I used to like red a lot, but now I'm a big fan of orange.
Yeah.
So I think I could like apply for like multiple things, and maybe even sexuality, because like that makes sense. Because who says you have to be straight? It could just be like you maybe you think you are straight, but then you realize it's not your lifestyle. So it's interesting to think about.
Yeah.
I don't have the answer, but it's a fun little thought puzzle.
My favorite color was red too,
Wow,
and now it's purple.
wow, mine's is orange. Both went to a secondary. Do you think that's common? Like liking a primary color, then liking like a
I
secondary.
just like everyone likes red, green, or blue.
Yeah. Basic ass
Those
colors.
are the three everyone likes.
Isn't like blue the most common?
Probably. I don't
Like
know.
everyone's like,
I don't
fucking
like fucking have statistics.
I'm gonna Google it.
I feel like no one says like purple or like black or like.
I think people just want
Yellow.
to feel like unique colors. I guess maybe.
I mean,
like
maybe they do. I don't know. I never heard of people like changing their color like that when they get older, but that makes sense though.
Yeah. Favorite color statistics. I'm looking it up right now.
I'm pretty sure I was like one day I was like, you know, I don't want to be a basic bitch anymore. Purple's my favorite color.
Yeah, I think for me it was kind of like more like I was drawn to like orange, because like I liked red originally because it was like you know, it meant like love and like emotion and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then I was just kind of like drawn to orange because it's still kind of red, but it's like more mellow and like calm. Instead of typing favorite color statistic, I typed in favorite statistics. Wow. Okay, here's a chart that says, oh, it even goes by gender. For generally for everyone, the most common favorite color is typically blue. Then you have green. Then interesting. For guys, the next one is red. But then for women, it's purple. And then it switches. So after that, for men, it's purple. And then for women, it's red. And then for both of them, the next one is orange. Then it's black. Then yellow. Then wow. Okay. Is that like? It looks like a gray and like a white for women, then like a gray, well, white for men, then a gray for women, then a black for both.
I've never met anyone who thought gray was the favorite color.
What a bland ass person.
I mean, that's like different though. I mean, you like what you like.
I guess, but I feel like it does like imply you were bland. Like if you're like, if our life was like a TV
Yeah,
show.
like if fucking that roof over there is like your favorite. Oh my god, I love that roof. It's fucking gray.
Have you guys seen the parking lot? It has the best color. Oh my god, asphalt black is. Oh my god, to die.
I mean, I'm sure because I like purple, but I don't like want a purple car or anything like that.
You know,
No, I think that would look weird as fuck.
on an orange car.
See, orange is like a car that I would see though.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
I don't know. I think purple would be like weird. I want like a red car.
I know what the most common least favorite color is by both genders.
Fuck, hold on, let me think. I don't fucking know what.
Brown, followed by yellow,
I was gonna say yellow.
then by orange again, which is funny because it's like the one.
But there are so many more colors than that. How the fuck?
yeah,
They're like, out of these colors, which one's your favorite?
it was just an image, but
Brown eyes are pretty though.
I feel like I have brown eyes, so I'm kind of like, eh.
My aunt and her whole family has brown eyes.
I like her so much, why don't you marry her? Wait, you said her entire family?
Like her kids.
I was gonna be like, there was a joke there somewhere, but you know, I got lost from like the words coming out of my mouth and me thinking like, huh, I could say it funny. I don't know. I don't really like. I'm not someone who makes eye contact a lot.
Me neither. I don't look at people's eyes like ever. I mean, I make eye contact. I just don't pay attention to their eyes.
Yeah, I would notice like more so about their like hair or shit like that. This is a question on our competitions podcast they asked. It was like, what was the first thing you noticed about a person?
I don't fucking know.
Me neither. I would. If they're wearing glasses, I guess. I don't.
Yeah, I mean,
Their
that's
voice.
probably that's the first thing you fucking notice.
Actually, I would probably say their voice or like their glasses. I mean, like,
I mean, if you don't hear them talk.
yeah, probably their glasses. I'd say, like, okay,
I mean, that's the first thing I do notice if they're wearing glasses or not.
yeah,
Because you look at their face, and that's like the thing that's like, it's either on their face or it's not.
yeah. I think one of the guys said their smell, like if they smell bad or not.
I don't really smell people.
Yeah, I'm not trying to get a
Like,
list of people.
if they're like right next to me and I smell them, then I smell them. I mean, either like, oh, they smell like shit, or she smells nice, or whatever, you know?
Yeah, I'm not like, I can't remember like,
I don't like go out of my way to smell someone.
yeah, I also can't remember like what anyone like inherently smells like until like it's strong enough or like it's a bad or a particularly good smell.
Yeah,
you know?
they have to be like right up on you for you to smell them.
Yeah.
And I feel like most people don't even have a smell.
I feel like, yeah, it's kind of weird because you would think like,
Because I'll be like next to people at work and I don't smell shit.
yeah,
But there's like other smells that drown it out.
that's probably what it is. But like maybe we have an odor, but you can't like recognize it.
Yeah.
You would think like meeting like other people, you constantly be like smelling like different scents. Like in a school, like I have no idea what the people in my class smell like unless they're really bad. I was around them every day. But, like at one point, they were like a bunch of new people. I feel like maybe it's because like our noses aren't like strong enough to detect what people smell like, which is probably a good thing because there's that whole episode of SpongeBob where Patrick gets a nose and like he can smell the terrible things in life and he doesn't want to have a nose anymore.
That's awful. What the fuck?
Well, he smells like good things too.
But then he's like, no, fuck this. I don't want to smell anything.
He smells trash.
That's like a, what's the word?
I already,
Like a symbolism of like life. It's good, but it's pretty bad, so I'm just gonna kill myself.
life in general. There's a new movie coming out on Hulu. It's called Palm Springs, and it stars Andy Samberg and some hot chick.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
Andy Samberg. I don't even know. I
the
know
guy
who he
from The
is.
Lonely Island?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's funny as hell.
Yeah, but it's a time loop movie.
It's some hot chick.
I
Did
was
you say,
like-
is that offensive?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, is that objectifying her?
Oh.
She was a very attractive woman who also.
I mean, I guess that's one thing you might notice about people if they're hot or not.
that's what I
I
noticed.
saw something one time. It was like everyone, they'll determine in the first like 7 seconds of seeing someone if they like
think they're
think they're attractive or not.
I feel like that could change though.
That's
Like-
true.
But let me finish about this movie real quick. It's about Andy Samberg and this chick, and they're stuck in a time loop. And Andy Samberg's been in it for a while. And the chick, she recently joins him and was like, what did you do? And it's like, blah, blah, blah. Oh, we're in a time loop. And it's kind of like, I get from the trailers, it looks like they're kind of like, it seems to be like what is it? An allegory? And what is it? A simile? It's basically talking about life, but how like they repeat the same day over and over again, but it has no effect on the later days because, you know, it's a time loop.
Yeah.
And it seems interesting. Comes out July 11th. But you were saying about the like,
Are the movie theaters ever gonna open up?
Is Corona ever going to end?
Apparently not.
How many people have you seen with a mask out here in the kind of salty salt
I
mines?
haven't looked at anyone, but I saw someone drive by with a mask on.
Oh, that's good for them. I was here the other day, or I was somewhere. There was no one. I was at Marshall's getting clothes for my work. No one had a mask on in there. No one. And I was like,
No one
wait,
gives a fuck.
you really don't. There was a post on Reddit talking about like how like everyone, like several people in WWE have like contracted coronavirus, but they're still recording stuff. And
What the fuck?
and the top post was like,
That's just, I don't give a fuck. Fuck it.
yeah. The top comment was like, people just really don't give a fuck about Corona anymore. And it's so like,
It's only been like 2 months. Oh wait, how long has it been? What? It started in like March.
the thing is, things started reopening in May. That was the problem.
Yeah, because that's what was dumb as fuck. They're like, we're gonna open up in May no matter what. Pretty much that's what they were saying, and then they did. So they're pretty much like, we're gonna take this serious for a couple months, then we're gonna say fuck it. They were planning on like just fucking not caring about it anymore.
It's so
Because
like,
I was thinking back then, I was like, there's no fucking way it's gonna be gone by then,
no way. I thought like at least earliest like fall, like
unless
October.
they come out with a vaccine.
But they had to like distribute it too, and that's like a problem as well. Like it took them fucking forever to get like our kits to like test to see if we had it.
Yeah.
I can't wait in like history classes in the future where they show like how fucking stupid America was and how like we handled this shit. Because at one time Trump basically said you should try drinking bleach or whatever. I'm paraphrasing, but he basically said to try and drink bleach to like.
Basically said kill yourself.
You don't want to have the coronavirus. Have you tried killing yourself?
He just told the whole damn country to kill themselves.
But it's so like, God, this could have been like. I can't wait to the graph of like how long it took us to solve Corona and how quickly it could have been like solved.
But that's the same. This is the same shit that was for like the civil rights movement, bro. Segregation, bro. That was why the fuck was separate but equal a fucking thing for so damn long.
It makes sense. Like, we have the
And we
nice
learn about
bathroom.
that, and we don't think about it as like, oh, they're fucking stupid. It was just like that's what happened. I mean, it's more of like that's really fucked up, and that's the end of it.
That's an interesting thing because it kind of like give like the whole Corona shit and
Because
kind
we
of like,
weren't there to like know how hard it was to deal with, or like how
well,
it was. You know what I mean?
I was gonna go like in the whole tangent of kind of like giving the whole Corona, like how much America's fucked up with Corona and the whole like George Floyd situation.
Yeah.
People have kind of been dunking on like how America is kind of like, well, it started a dialogue of how like America like teaches our history and like also because of like criticisms of Corona, how about the criticism of just like our racial history because of like George Floyd situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it was kind of like interesting to think about like, I feel like the civil rights movement is kind of, well, I guess to backpedal a bit, I feel like we're kind of like not talked about like the tragedies of like the racial divide of like in America,
Yeah.
I feel like we have this whole month, Black History Month.
We really don't want shit.
Yeah, it's just kind of like a celebration. Like, despite the negative consequences, they rose. We don't worry about fucking like the Tulsa Black Wall Street fucking massacre.
Yeah, we never learned that.
We don't worry about how fucking like I don't know. It just we don't focus so much.
Well, I mean,
we don't focus so much on the tragedy. Think of it compared to like fucking Germany, where it's kind of like there are signs that have like that mark like old fucking Jewish stores that don't exist anymore because of the Holocaust. They're there. They're
that's the same shit with the Indians too.
Oh yeah, we kind of just like
we're just like the Trail of Tears. We learned about them when we were like kids before we even realized how fucked up it is, and it's like okay, we're never talking about that again.
Basically, it really is. The kind of like so much shit is just kind of like brush aside and kind of like we're kind of talking about it. There's not really like
that's everything that's like bad in history that like our country has dealt with. It's just like we learn about it for a second, and that's the end of it.
Think of like the Vietnam War. It doesn't even feel like we lost the war,
Yeah, we never learned shit about it.
It just kind of feels like we went there and then we didn't go there anymore, and that was it. Most important thing you show is that was the first war to use a draft. That's all you need to know.
Yeah.
Nothing else happened. We didn't lose. We just left. And it's like, but we lost. It feels like in a previous episode of our now retired podcast, we kind of like went in on the whole like fucking education system and how it kind of like you don't learn shit.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I'm a firm believer if you don't learn your history, you're bound to repeat it.
Yeah.
And I feel like, I don't know, we're just kind of like told the cliff notes of what happened. I feel like they're kind of like the system, the education system just kind of like set up to like, I feel like they're afraid to like get to like, to be too real of like how bad Americans were,
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And like, I think it just like creates this idea that like, like the civil rights movement happens, racism ended with the civil rights movement, so it doesn't exist anymore. Obama's president, so of course racism can't exist in like the modern day. But as current events have shown, it's it's still alive. Maybe not as strong as it was, but like the deep-rooted issues, they're still like here and affect us today. Are you gonna say something?
I don't remember what it was.
Oh,
What it was
sorry.
though.
I'll just keep talking for fucking half the podcast.
I was just gonna say something about like in class.
It fucking doesn't matter. Just
Miss Pelican's class.
Miss Pelican.
She we learned about like a lot of random ass shit. It's not really random, like it's what happened, but it's like you remember we had to learn all the explorers or whatever for like the New World or whatever, and then you just forget all that shit. I think it's not that we spend too much time learning that. It's like
It's not like learned, it's just regurgitated.
yeah, that is like we learned it. We're spending time to learn it, but it's something that like no one's gonna remember.
Think about this. I bet like remember cheat codes?
Yeah.
I bet you could probably like remember like one that you use like often all the time in like one video
Right.
game, like off the top of your head. Now think about, I don't know, fucking some shit we learned in fucking, we'll go back even further and same as Thomas's class about world history. What do you remember in that class
The thing
besides?
is, we learned the same shit in those like with Miss Pelican and Miss
Yeah.
her.
But I can more easily remember a cheat code than I can like important history that's
Because we don't
relevant.
give a fuck about it.
That is a true point, but I feel like the education system should make you want to know. Obviously, people have their own biases, but if education,
They can't make you care about it. That's the thing.
That's true.
They can't make you care about history.
These are hard problems, but I feel like
But people would have care more about what happened 50 years ago with
If
the
they
civil
knew.
rights movement.
I feel like maybe people don't care because there's not like, if you think of a story, there's like ups and there's downs. But I feel like the history we're taught, it's just kind of like, here are the ups everybody knows, here are a few downs, here are the ups everyone knows, and kind of like a few minor tragedies, and here are the ups. Like there's no like interesting besides like facts. Like I don't know. Like we focus more so that people overcame the odds, not more so like the odds they were living with.
Sure.
That is the American dream to rise up. But we don't really know what they're rising up for.
I don't know. Depends what class it is.
I feel like in Miss Pelican's class in particular, I feel like in her case, she just kind of wasn't a good teacher. She was an interesting one, but she
She was
wasn't.
a good teacher. They tell her what to teach. And she did do shit to like make you
Remember?
remember. But honestly, the last year we had her, I didn't learn shit.
Yeah, the last year, all I remember was fucking looking at the board, writing notes, then going outside doing fucking like our square dancing or whatever the fuck we did.
That's true. She's gonna have fun though, because she knows damn well none of them matters.
She did. I mean, I did enjoy the class when it wasn't like bullshit, but like
It was a lot of bullshit.
I feel like I learned more. I felt like I was learning more in Miss French teacher's class.
Yeah. I don't know. Teaching history is really hard because honestly, it's like you'll be in the class and like you don't give a fuck about it, so you just try to pass the test and then you forget everything.
Yeah,
Which is what's gonna happen with most people,
I think the hard thing with
no matter
our
what you learn.
with our education system is most people don't have like a need to like, they don't have a want. Don't let that car pass. Okay, most people don't have a want to learn. It's just kind of like they show up and then they leave. There's no like
Even like the smart kids or whatever.
yeah, because
All they're doing is doing on the test and they forget that shit still.
they just want to have like the high numbers, so colleges pick them up.
That's why grades are so fucking stupid. As we talked about in psychology too. So this was like a weird thing. If you cut someone's grass for $1 or you cut someone's grass for $100, which one do you think you would like doing it more?
I feel like the answer is 1, but I feel like obviously I'm gonna go say 100.
Exactly. It's 1 though because you get less from it, so you think you enjoy it more. Because you're like, I'm not really getting shit from this. I'm doing it because I want to, not because I'm getting money.
that makes a lot of like, think of like every single small YouTube channel where like
Yeah.
they don't get anything in return, but they're doing it for passion,
Exactly.
so they keep doing it. That's dope.
Yeah, this shit was
Psychology's
weird as
amazing.
fuck. Exactly. That's why I like psychology a lot, but I don't know what job I would have. I feel like
You can still learn psychology.
once you learn a bunch of it, it's like I want to learn it. I do want to learn it all, but I don't know what fucking career I would have out of it that I would like. That I think I would like.
I don't know, like I told you before, like my dramatic writing teacher always said, as writers, our job is to like examine the human condition and basically be like psychologists or whatever. You don't get it.
That's why I feel like I should learn psychology. Then you can make that, like you said, be a better writer because of it.
Yeah. There's this guy on TikTok who he skateboards and he talks about like fucking psychological things, mostly like how we communicate with other people. It's basically a lot of like, does your crush like you, or like what's the first thing you often notice about people personality wise? It's really interesting because it's like I didn't expect that kind of content on TikTok,
Yeah.
but it was like just like how we communicate to people and like what are some communication cues we might have missed. It was nice. I feel like I don't know. I feel like psychology is like a very interesting thing because it's like
It literally is everything.
yeah, it explains how we think and like why we. It makes life make more sense.
Right, exactly.
So how could you like not want to know? You know?
But the thing is that's fucked up is you can manipulate people if you know psychology.
Yeah.
That's really fucked up that you can do that.
Knowledge
But,
is power, yo.
that's true. But yeah, that's the thing about grades though is if you make an A on a test, you think, oh, I made an A because I wanted to make an A, not because I learned that shit because I wanted to learn it.
Yeah.
And then the thing is, like, you need
Incentive.
that's the thing, like, that's why grades are there so that they can know who's trying, who like gives a fuck.
That's the thing. Grades aren't even like.
But like, why the fuck do you really need to know?
It's not even like reflective of like who's trying. I think just like knowing that you have like retained the information is like the important. I think.
And that's what you have like at the end of the year. It's like, oh, we're having a test that has everything. And then you do the same shit though. Let me remember everything and then take the test and then forget it all.
If I were like to propose an idea on how to like fix the education system, I would just kind of go with that, but like change what's on it. Like, cause I think for my classes at our fucking dad college, improv master over here, baby. Anyway, at the beginning they have us take like this as it's for our pre-quarter assignment. They have us take some a assignment that reflects the things we're going to learn in the class, in which we never have to take like, well, I think we do have to take like a end of quarter assignment, but it's never like required. But basically, it shows you everything you've learned, and by the end, you realize, oh, I've learned this shit.
That's perfect. That's what I was just thinking.
But I think just maybe change it up a bit so it's like, it's like not like exactly the same.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you space it out enough, no one's gonna fucking remember like, oh, it's the thing from like, I don't know, a whole like 180 days ago.
Yeah.
Because if we're really trying to see like how much information we retain, I think just having a quarter test or like a yearly test on like everything, like beginning of quarter, end of quarter, okay, you've learned what you needed to learn. That's just like, that's where the grades should come in, like if they like know enough. Not like, okay, give me your fucking...
But that's the thing though, they have grades so they can keep track of, okay, he's not learning it, he needs help. Even though they don't fucking help anyone.
They help.
They fucking help you.
The thing is,
Daniel?
she'd help, but she wouldn't like help.
Because she wouldn't care.
Well, not that she
feel
didn't
like-
care. She wasn't a good teacher.
Yeah.
That's where it comes down to. Like,
Like so many things that like are involved in like if people learn or not.
being a teacher is a very important as fuck job. Because, like I've said before, like it shapes. Well, they're essentially a third parent, and they also like these teachers like they shape our the up and coming people like who are going to form society.
Right.
And like think of all the teachers that have like an impact on you. Like,
The thing is, there's so many teachers that like,
don't give a fuck.
well, there's so many teachers like in general
Yeah.
that like, it would be hard for them to be like, they, like I don't know, it feels like the students they teach wouldn't be as like,
Smart.
they have to all shape them in a good way to make them. I don't fucking know.
Well, I don't think that's true because you have like those profound moments in your life where like I mean everyone knows the thing is like, oh, I remember all the negative comments.
I just
in
feel
my life.
like I'm capable of doing whatever, but I'm like, fuck it, someone else will do it. So I feel like there's so many teachers that like it'd be easy for a teacher to be like,
Fuck it up.
I don't have to fucking do it.
To like fuck up the trajectory of a student.
Yeah.
I think if you're a good enough teacher, take for example Miss Lancelot, it can like realign someone's trajectory.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think like as long as you're like doing good and doing the best you can, it can still
But
like
the thing is, I'm sure there were people who didn't like Miss,
Lancelot.
Yeah.
That's true because I mean,
which I don't see how.
but yeah, I feel like the majority opinion was that she was a dope teacher. One of
I've
the
never
best.
heard anyone say anything bad about her, but I'm saying though, like,
It still like could.
it's, yeah.
If this is true, then the opposite must be true as well.
Like, what do you think, address book? You think he liked her?
I think probably yeah.
I'm pretty sure he got like a 0 on a thing because he plagiarized. And I feel like if you make a 0 on an essay, you're not gonna like the teacher.
That's the thing. With
Even though you're the fucking one who plagiarized.
Yeah, I think the thing with emotions, honestly, I think besides like we're fixing how like what we, I think we should focus on teaching other important things. That was a very hard sentence to get out. I think like emotions. I feel like a lot of people like he got mad. Hypothetically, he got mad because like he made a 0 on the test, but he directed that anger towards like Miss Lancelot, where in turn he should have like reflected it towards himself. I think maybe that's something we should learn in school, how to like deal with emotions. It sounds so like liberal or kind of like, oh, I'm worrying about emotions in school. But like honestly,
That's what you fucking need to do.
people can kill someone if they get like too mad. If you don't know how to like Well, they kind of have this with counseling, I think, but kind of like counseling goes away like in your upper years.
Yeah, they have like it's not even counseling either. It's like
It doesn't fucking matter.
don't smoke.
Above the
This one
bathroom,
person smoked.
filled with people smoking in the bathroom. The stop bullying signs.
I'm pretty sure our counselor who told us not to smoke and shit fucking
Smoke cigarettes.
smoked.
I could believe it. She kind
It
of
was
looks like
funny
one.
as hell. Not the one at
Oh, which one?
it was elementary school. Or fucking
Herwood. Herman.
I can't. Herwood.
Elementary school. You know, from elementary school.
Yeah. Anyway,
You know what I noticed having my niece down here? She parrots a lot of the things I
she doesn't
do.
live down here?
She doesn't live down here. She lives like up in Atlanta with her mom, and she comes down to come visit or my mom or her dad.
Yeah.
But anyway, she parrots a lot of the things I do. I remember when my what was it? I think it was either a math teacher or an English teacher. He was kind of like getting onto my class because they're acting like a bunch of baboons. But he's like, some you guys parrot a lot of the things your parents do. You don't even realize it, and you're supposed to grow out of it. But you guys are still doing that right now.
How old are you?
Huh? I don't know. That's why I'm confused.
That's dumb as fuck. He's like, you're a kid.
I feel it was like I think it was in like middle school or like it had to be in not middle school or like 10th grade, in between that area somewhere. But it was kind of like some teacher at one point said when I was in my upper years of learning, it was like, you guys parrot a lot of like the ideas of your parents and stuff like that. You don't really have your own, and by this point you're supposed to have your own and you don't, or something to that
He
effect.
basically said y'all were dumb as fuck.
I was getting on to some guy, but basically he said like stop to like have your own ideas. And I was like watching that with her because I was just like, I think I'll do with like Gerald, my dog, is like when he'll like roll over on his back and like I don't want to fucking like lean over to like rub his stomach because he normally wants to be rubbed for a long time. I'll just like rub my foot on him. And then she started doing it too, and my mom putting it out.
Yeah. They definitely do. Little kids do.
It's just interesting though, because like when do you like what makes you stop? You know,
That's true. I don't know.
what makes you want to be?
That's the thing about free will. That's what I want to say earlier when we were talking about Hitler. But I want to say this real quick.
Throw it back.
My nephew, I call him Cutie.
Uh-huh.
So he called me Cutie.
Did he wink afterwards?
No, he can't wink. I do wink at him though. He can't wink though. But yeah, they definitely listen to everything you do.
Yeah.
It's crazy because then you'll do something that you don't like, you shouldn't have done or whatever. Then they'll do it, and you're like, fuck. And then you could be like, oh, that's probably why I do it. Let me just blame someone else. Fuck it.
I told you about the thing that our friend did. I'll call him John Adams because there's a anyway. He said he used to when we played Minecraft together. He used to say whatchamacallit. He used to be like that's gay or something like that. And like one day his dad came in and was like, you playing Minecraft? You were online? A friend? He was like, yep. It's like, huh, that's gay. And he left. I was like, so that's where he gets it from.
That's funny, but a lot of people would be very offended if they heard that.
I mean, like, it was just kind of like,
No, I'm gonna stop.
our guy, John Adams, is a very cool guy. He doesn't, like, hate gay people. He's not homophobic. He's just kind
How
of
do
like,
you know?
how do you know, huh? How do you know that he
If you
is?
call someone gay, that means you hate gay people.
It's just raised in our society to be, it was a common point in many of our lives, even me and you, to be like, that's gay as, like, a
I've
derogatory.
never said that, ever.
I'm a perfect person. I've never,
I play Call of Duty and I never said that.
never. But anyway, it was, it was a common point in society it was acceptable in society at one point to be like, haha, that's gay, or refer to something that's stupid. Now we know that's wrong.
That's stupid.
But he was like,
Facts.
but he was referred, but it's just ingrained from him as a child. Like he knows it's wrong, but it's just kind of like, he grew up doing it.
Yeah.
It's just like behavioral, like, is it behavioral?
That's literally how, like, that could happen the same thing with, like, not liking black people.
Racism, yeah. That's why, like, systematic, I guess, is that a part of systematic racism?
That's the thing, it's not done intentionally a lot of the time. Well, it probably is. I don't know.
I'm not a racist.
It could be done unintentionally.
You don't realize how it affects you.
Yeah. Because you have biases because like that one show, I don't remember what it was called, but it was like a thing where
100 humans?
yeah.
Yeah.
It was like where they would have like a obstacle course thing where they had a gun and they would like shoot. It was like a fake gun, of course. But like they'd have people, because you know those games at like arcades where it would look real fucking fake.
Yeah.
They have like a guy like jump out and aim a gun at you and you know like shoot him. It was basically that, except it was real people. And then at the end, it was the only time that like really mattered. But they wanted to make it. They wanted them to not be thinking about it. But they had like a white guy and a black guy both come out at the same time, and they both had guns because they either have a phone or a gun. No, they both had phones, and you're supposed to shoot the ones with guns and not the ones with phones. So they both came out with phones, and a lot of the people shot the black guy.
It's it's interesting.
And that's the thing. It's like they don't probably.
They're probably not racist.
They're not racist, but that's like something that like apparently is like in a lot of people. Is like even the black. I think even the black people were doing it.
That's the thing. Did I tell you about I told you about the documentary I watched, which I recommend everyone watches. It's called The 13th on Netflix, like the prison system. They talk about like how like basically for a long time for politicians to like win the presidency, they had to like be hard on like crime, and basically the crime they were focusing on was like crime in the like poor, low income communities, which often meant they were criminalizing people of color and often black people. And so it's kind of like they would run ads of like super criminals, they called them in like the 90s, which sounds fucking stupid, but it was kind of like blah blah blah. Super criminals are
Adolf Hitler, the lead super criminal.
That's his resurrection. He becomes super Hitler and makes super criminals. But anyway, it was kind of like a lady, a part of the documentary. She points out like the problem with this kind of like mentality is like you start to like turn black people and people of color to like start hating their own people and like seeing them as these super criminals or bad people, and they don't even realize that it's wrong because it's like it's the news. They're supposed to be unbiased, which we all know is completely
Not
biased
for most of them.
Yeah, CNN, Fox. But it's kind of like you don't even like realize like how messed up things are, like why, like what the real intention of things is until you step back, which is why it's important to do so. I do like how this whole like time of racial, I don't know. Honestly, I feel like that stuff is kind of like faded away. I feel like it's not like as serious, which is a terrible thing to say, but I feel like
I mean, that's what a lot of people think.
I feel like a lot of things, it's kind of, they pulled a corona, like it was a big deal, and it's just kind of like simmered down.
Yeah.
Even though it shouldn't have, because like, I do like though, I feel like the lasting effect it seems to have was kind of like people are like talking about it more. That's what I feel like Black History Month
should be.
Yeah, just like, is racism still around? And if
Every
so,
month is a fucking, like a fucking, you fucking interrogate people.
Are you racist?
You don't have to worry about it until February though.
The NAACP is coming around with the Black Panthers.
They like randomly pick people and they like evaluate everything they did the entire year and tell them if they're racist or not.
But I'm black! I can't be racist! Really? What did you think of Black Panther? I thought it was okay! Just okay? It was a celebration of our culture!
I never watched it.
Fucking racist. Whatchamacallit, fun facts. To show how racist black people can be, a group of people on Twitter, a big group, were going to cancel Michael B. Jordan because they found out he was dating, well, the last two girls he dated weren't black. They were seriously going to cancel this man because he wasn't dating a black woman before the Black Panther movie came out. Is that not the fucking dumbest shit you've ever heard?
That's so fucking stupid. I cannot believe people. Oh my god.
But Michael he likes. Also, what the fuck does it matter?
People are fucking stupid.
It's so like, that shit kind of like, as a person who's been accused of liking but only white women, that shit kind of hit home as like, who gives a fuck? And also, this is the most funniest thing I've ever come across. Not like funny, but like funny as in like, people were legitimately upset about this.
Yeah. That is kind of funny. Well, it's kind of fucked up.
It's fucked up funny. Like, wow, they really gave a shit. They really thought that they were preaching to the gospel or some shit. Like, they were gonna change, like he was doing some terrible acts. It's, I don't know. Cancel an entire movie because like the actor isn't dating someone of his race. There's like this idea I read about, well, not idea, it's, I guess, ideology, that's what we'll say.
Ooh.
It's of like, it's not colorism, that's the idea of like people who are darker skin, but lighter shades of that dark skin are often given more preferable treatment. I mean, it's true, because if you think of like a person from like, I don't know, we'll say like Sudan or Nigeria who has dark skin versus like a person from like, I don't know, fucking Brazil who has lighter skin, which one of those would you rather like to meet in an alley? Like, rather like, you know, which one would you approach first?
I mean, you would. Let me stop. I'm not gonna say anything about that.
More often than not, you would approach the lighter shade person.
Probably.
And they're often given like preferential treatment because, you know, it's the lighter shade.
I've never been near an alley, so.
Or a black person. But often because, you know, colonialism, of course, the white people, stuff like that, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But the other idea was kind of like this, a topic of like superiority of like of your blackness, as if there's like a scale of like how black you can be. And it's kind of it's it's funny, but it's a thing that actually exists, and it's it's a thing that's like affected me as a you know me. I'm not like the blackest black person, but like I'm still a black person. My voice doesn't sound like it at all.
all over again.
The day Beyonce turned black. I know he's black, but you're my girl. Another video you guys should check out is The Day Beyonce Turned Black by SNL.
Oh my God.
One of my favorite videos. But it was basically just saying like, you don't fit the black stereotypes, therefore you're not black, which is a completely stupid mindset to have, and also just like encloses black people in this tiny little box and basically rejects.
That's literally like the problem.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no racist people. Like that's the only problem.
What do you mean?
That's a joke.
Oh. I was like, expound upon that. Let me know. But what was I gonna say? The thing is kind of like, it's just, I guess for my own personal example, they're just like, I remember so fondly of like these girls in middle school, and I still know who both of them were, and their face and everything. They're kind of like, the whole issue was like they were like roasting each other, or as they called it at the time, fying on your friends.
Yeah.
And I was like, I was like, why do you guys do that? I wouldn't do that. And I was like, well, they're kind of like, I think the discussion was prompted that like, I know I said something about like I wouldn't be like mean to my friends, or they wanted me to fire on one of them, and I was like, nah, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't like be mean to my friends. I don't like that. And they're like, come on, that's what black people do. You don't like fire on your friends. We do it all the time. And some shit. Basically, they kind of like hit home like blah blah blah. If you don't fire your friends, you're not black. If you don't listen to this type of music, if you don't know these lyrics, you're not black. Shit like that. If you don't dress like this, you're not black. That shit had a profound effect on me because I still like know about it. But it's kind of like that wasn't the first time that shit happened to me, but it was definitely like one of the like.
That's fucked up.
It was one
I
of the,
don't think that fucking happens to white people ever.
Really? Well,
That never happened to me. I don't know.
Yeah, but it was definitely one of the times where I was like, oh, I'm not like. It was the first time I think like it went on like that long. Remember, it's like, haha, you're not black because you sound different, or like you don't listen to this music, or you talk properly. Like, but that one was kind of like you don't do X, Y, or Z. So like, there was no way you could be black, or you're just not black. And I was like, but
And the thing is, they're not trying to say it to be mean. I don't think. I mean, they might be.
I think it was kind of
But
like.
the thing is, that like fucks with people.
I think it was more like kind of like annoyance and like confusion. Like, how could you like look like us but not like act like us?
Yeah.
Which is like, I guess it's understandable because the black community is kind of like they're kind of like typically tend to like band together because like white people treat us so wrong. We like having this shared like understanding of like the struggle. But for someone to like differ and like not be a part of that, you can want to reject them. But to like not accept someone for who they are because they don't fit your preconceived ideas, it's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Even one of our friends, he didn't do it now, but he kind of like, or a couple of jokes.
Yeah, he did.
Thrown my way. Man, I feel like that's kind of loud, so I'm gonna let that pass.
What else are you gonna do? Not let it pass? You gonna stop them? That's gonna be your job.
Apparently that's its own other job, and those people actually get paid.
That's a whole other job.
Yeah, apparently, it's fucking crazy.
It'd get hot as fuck. If it's raining. Woo.
Yeah, but whatchamacallit, I don't know what the fuck left off, but I think...
I need to go back to Hitler.
Alright,
Whenever you're done.
I'll wrap this stuff in. I think, as someone who's been told by a lot of people that I'm not black, I think... Well, for one, it has put much doubt in my mind of, like, am I, kind of, like... It makes me question, like, an obvious fact about myself. Like, am I black? Which I am. I can't, like, change that. There's no way to be unblack. There's no unblackifier.
Michael Jackson.
Even when he was white, he was still black as hell. But yeah. I think, accept people, even if they don't fit your preconceived stereotypes.
The thing is, though...
What?
I'm not gonna say it like that.
Just finish your
I don't even
sentence.
fucking know. Hold on. What the fuck was I about to say?
I hate black people.
Basically, I was gonna talk about culture. Address book.
Addie?
People are always like talk to the people who are like outcasts or whatever, That it's like
It puts special treatment on them, like they're not like you're not seeing them as a person.
like the person who's sitting by themselves at lunch, go sit next to them or whatever. And talk
Everyone
to them.
knows why
Or
they're
invite them to your table.
Yeah, everyone knows why they're doing it.
Exactly, that's the thing. And it's hard to do that. And then it's hard to not treat those people differently.
I think
I mean, I don't really like go out of my way and be like, fuck you, but it's like
when their
I'm
differences,
not really like treating him different. I'm just like,
when their differences are so apparent, it can be hard to ignore.
yeah.
Yeah, I think at a dad college, that's the name, I guess. There are a lot of like, since it's a bunch of art students, there's a bunch of like artsy people and like even weird artsy people. So like, I remember there's this one chick at the not sketch comedy, the storyboarding club, and she was very much that kind of person. But there are still like respectable qualities you can find within people. Like she is a very good animator. She's like got her own like animation channel or whatever. She wants to like make the super dope show about a TV that she's been working on forever. And like, I could focus on like how like much of like how like loud she is or how like in your face her personality is or some of the goofy things about her. But I kind of like, which I will point out, which is kind of fucked up to say like to other people, but like when I'm around her, it's kind of like I focus on like all the positive things, you know, the things I wish I had in myself.
Yeah.
And or I just like I'll just treat her like a normal person, you know. I don't try to be like, oh, you're so crazy or whatever. I'm just kind of like, hey man, that's cool, nice, I like your art style, stuff like that. Just,
But I don't really mean like if like when Address Book was talking to me in like 9th grade, before I knew he was an Address Book.
before you knew his reputation, his rep, his street cred.
I should have known though. I'm not trying to get on that man right now though, but
He's gonna find out.
I'm just saying though, like, it's not that he's so different, it's that he's just, I guess a weird is different.
There's a difference between like being like, I guess
Like creepy is,
Yeah.
creepy is really what it is. I don't want to fucking go talk to him because I'm like, I don't want him to think I want to talk to him, which is like the fucking truth. It's fucked up. But then it's like people like that, because the thing is, when you're like in school, you have to find your own people.
yes.
If you don't, you're fucked.
That's literally our relationship.
And the people who don't find their own people are the ones that you're
Outcasts.
supposed to be like trying to. It's not really like your responsibility, but like that's the thing is like being a good person is to be like trying to help them find.
Even though, well, I get your point.
If they can't find someone to like be
Bring
their
them
people.
in.
Yeah.
I think even though I believe I'm a strong believer in the invisible hand, like everyone does actions for themselves or whatever, ulterior motives.
Yeah.
I think you should only do things if you give a fuck about it. That goes for friendships too. Like I think like the second something feels unauthentic, people. I mean, maybe people won't get offended, but I think majority they'll get a sense and like
They'll know, and then they'll be like, they'll either be like "fuck you" or they'll be like,
it'll be tainted.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
true. That's definitely true.
I think like if you like talking to someone out of pity, it hurts a lot more.
Yeah.
There was a guy like I told you about it, like who you don't know his name, so I shouldn't even say it. But he seemed like he really wanted to talk to me. He was a cool guy. We talked, had a bit of back and forth. He wanted to play Monster Hunter at
Oh yeah, you told me about
up there in college, and I was like, I don't have it here. It's at my house. He was like, okay, at spring break. Well, during spring break, you can add me on PSN, send me on Snapchat, and we can play Monster Hunter together. And like, I never did it. And like, it was just kind of like, I didn't hate the dude. It was just kind of like, I didn't feel like this urge to talk to him, you know?
that. Yeah, I felt that.
Yeah, I don't want to like pursue him because like, oh, you wanted to talk to me, so I felt like I had to talk to you. I feel like that'd been more fucked up than just being like, you know, not pursuing a conversation at all.
Yeah. So you think it's better just ignore people? Like imagine if someone reaches out, they're like, hey, what's up? Like they text you, they have in Snapchat or some shit,
Yeah.
and you don't really give a fuck about like how. And then would you like try to let them know I don't want to talk to you, or would you just respond every time? And then it would be obvious as fuck at some point that you don't give a fuck about talking to them.
I'm always open to seeing where conversations go, but I think like if I get a sense of like, I think more often than not, we're talking as if like people like love to hold long ass conversations.
Yeah, they don't.
As someone who's been on Tinder, they don't give a fuck. I was literally talking to this chick for like, I don't know, we'll say 5 minutes. A couple texts are sent back and forth. I decided to switch the topic. Hey, what's your whatchamacallit? What kind of music do you listen to? Silence.
That's why the fuck are you on the app if
I've yet to get a response. It's like, I feel like the people, that's a whole different thing with dating, but like,
yeah.
but what you were going on about, I think let that pass.
Like imagine if that guy kept texting you. Like he texted you today.
Oh yeah, I'd be like, okay, man, I'm not like, I guess I'd hop on out of pity, but I'd feel like, if I had a good time, maybe I continue, but like if he kept like pursuing it, I'd have to be like, okay, man, I'd have to confront him about it because I don't want to waste my time, you know? That's the thing I hate.
That's true. I don't want to be like, fuck you. Just like if someone texts me and then I'm just like, I really don't care about talking to you, but I don't want to be mean, so I'll respond. I'll talk to you until it's over with, and then I'm not going to like start another conversation.
It's true.
And then they do that for like a couple times.
In small bursts, that's fine, but like after like, there's a point where it's like, you start to dread it. Like, you know, like, you get a text from them, you still don't want to talk to
Bitch
them,
on red.
but then you reply to them and it's like, oh, I have to talk to him now. But you could have just not responded or been like upfront. I think you can handle it for like a brief period, but I think there's a point where you have to like, if you don't want to talk to him, you just have to let him know. Because what that is doing is just adding this like unnecessary time wasting to your life, you know? And if you don't like do
And
that,
there's two.
yeah, you could just.
I feel like you don't have to say shit. Just don't say shit. And then
People are smart. They can get the
they'll
message.
know. Yeah.
I think we talked about like, you know, like a post I read that was like,
People aren't smart, but yeah.
They're smart and both dumb at the same time. Big and small. I think episode 0 reference for you right there, baby. I think, remember we talked about how on like, I read an r/relationship advice. It was like, you should.
Oh, I thought you said racist advice.
My favorite subreddit.
I'm gonna say, damn. I guess that is still a problem.
How do I hide my racism?
Fucking like millions of fucking.
It's the most subscribed thing on Reddit. Okay, after this George Floyd death, how do I subtly say I'm a racist without saying, hey, I'm a racist?
I don't want people to think I like black people, but like,
What if I send my friend a song from a Kendrick Lamar song, but it's an edited version that only has like the N-word in it? Anyway, I told you about the thing on r/Reddit relationship advice where it's like, you shouldn't tell your crush. We shouldn't tell people you have a crush on them because kind of like, I think it was like you give them like, you basically, what you're doing is giving them this sense of like all these emotions, and often what they said was like, it creates this awkward thing and kind of like, whatchamacallit, of like, I don't know, it makes an awkward situation for them where they have to give you an immediate response if you do it in person or something like that.
you're talking about to the person. I thought you meant like someone you both know. Like, oh, I have a crush on blah blah blah.
No.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you telling a person you have a crush on them is kind of like,
That is really fucked. It is fucked up.
it's not, I feel like thinking about
It's
it.
what needs to happen a lot though.
Yeah, to like, because that shit will often just go on forever. So I think there's a balance to be struck with that post, but also that had me thinking like, obviously if like you have a crush on someone, eventually the person they'll become aware of it and they'll choose to ignore it. And if they don't ignore it, then they have some interest in you, and then that's when you should pop the question. But I feel like, I lost my train of thought. If they show some interest,
There it is.
oh cool. If you show some interest, shit's going fast. If you show some interest, you should keep talking to them, and if they don't, you shouldn't. The train's going pretty fucking fast.
I'm glad you
Reddit.
yeah.
It's my favorite app. Best social media. Basically, to tie back into like, what were we talking about? I was going to do a segue, but I got on and I was like, where the fuck are we going?
Oh, I see it. That's gone now though. That train.
There's the fuck I give to.
Oh no, it's right there. There's no one. It's not a land. It's not a land.
Ah, fucking missed it. God.
No, it's right there.
What? Where?
Get it. It just landed. It's right there.
The fuck or the train?
The fuck? The train's been gone.
Oh yeah, it's way gone at this point. There's the fuck, and we're gonna take that fuck and we're gonna transition.
Oh, it's kind of fucking weird. Anyway, I want to talk about Hitler still.
Yeah, go into
Free
that.
will. That's gonna be fucked up. I don't really want to talk about that.
Too bad.
I do, but like,
Let's go into it.
do you think people have free will? Like Hitler, do you think
He chose?
he could have not done what he did? I'm not saying. Do you think he could have not been the way he was? You think someone
Yes.
could have taught him to not be that way?
Yeah, I always think you could change. That's like a common question, like movies and TV.
True, but like,
I think someone else would have become Hitler if he didn't. Like,
I'm talking about him.
Oh,
Do you
okay,
think he could have been a good person?
Yes.
Do you think, okay, after all the fucked up shit happens to him when he's a kid or whatever, do you think as like he's 20, I don't know how old he was when he was fucking doing all that shit.
Yeah, I mean, him dictator.
16 or some shit.
Dick Hitler.
Do you think he could have,
Gone on a different path.
yeah, he could have been like, you know what, I don't want to be like this and not done it.
I want to actually pursue this art thing. I think, yeah.
Well, not art, I'm talking about somebody's been a terrible person.
Yeah.
Okay, but there are like,
Look, a train of thought coming in from the west. Ah, there it is. What does it say, Leon? Take your time. It's only going 100 miles per hour.
oh shit, that's gone.
We'll never know what it said.
Damn.
Anyway,
Maybe
you were
it'll come
saying?
back. We could wait here. So narcissists.
Mm-hmm.
People who are like narcissistic personality disorder, or like,
It's a disorder?
yeah, it's a disorder.
Like chemically imbalanced or some shit like that.
Probably. It's
Wow.
called narcissistic personality disorder.
All right, cool. All right.
But like people who have that,
Yeah.
they don't really have free will. They're basically at the like, I guess at the mercy. I don't know how to say it other than that, of the disorder. You know what I mean? They're the way they are because of that, and unless they can get rid of that, they're gonna stay that way.
All right, but how much free will is free will?
Being able to,
Because like I would imagine a narcissist could imagine like
I don't know. You can. I mean, I was gonna say like being able to like change and like evaluate yourself, but that's just you could be stupid or like be like just not a self-aware person.
incompetent. So
Yeah.
I'd imagine narcissists choose what kind of clothes they wear. Like their narcissism doesn't like.
Well, I'm not. I'm talking about. I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, but like, okay, even people who, because narcissists,
You're arguing like big scale like free will, right?
yeah,
All right.
like how they view the world. But like the thing is,
Well, then I would say no.
because I would be
Well,
like,
fuck.
you can't change them. Like, you can't reason with them to get them to see your point of view. They're literally incapable of seeing the truth, and they think you're incapable of seeing the truth too. Though, that's the thing.
Has there ever been
But
like,
I don't have a fucking disorder.
has there ever been a narcissist that's been cured?
I think, but the thing is about narcissists is like all the subreddits and stuff I look at on it is they pretty much can't be cured. And if you have the capacity to question if you're a narcissist, you're not a narcissist.
Oh,
So they're literally stuck being that way.
so they can't change.
So they have no free will.
Well, I guess maybe there's always an exception to the rule. But I say
That's true, but like, what if I was like that, or you were? You're literally like a prisoner of your own mind.
but you don't know it, so it's kind of like,
Exactly. I could be that way now.
wow, this is getting scary.
This is what I was talking to my brother about the other day. It's fucked up. And then people who are like enablers
To narcissists.
to narcissists basically believe everything the narcissist believes
Mm-hmm.
and do whatever the narcissist wants them to do.
And it helps like narcissists think like they're right because like if this person's following me,
Exactly.
I must have a strong message.
And they both, all their enablers and him or her, think everyone else is wrong with everything, and are basically. That's the thing is the narcissists I feel like can't change, but the enablers could. But I know some enablers.
Would that impact the narcissist if like the enabler changed?
It didn't. Nothing can. I'm telling you, they would just be like,
Oh well, fuck them.
"Oh, fuck them." They would be like changing the way they think. They'll be like, "They were like that the whole time. I knew they were like that. I don't know why I ever blah blah blah." Or like,
It's like such like a fucking TV villain ass.
I'm telling you, it's fucked up. Like nothing's ever their fault, but they tell people stuff are their fault. So it's like they
don't mean it.
literally lie to themselves constantly and are incapable of seeing truth.
I guess when you present all these facts, I would say no.
And that's what's fucked up. Because I want to be like, people can change, but
As an optimist though, and as a person who believes in people, I would always my answer would still be like firmly as like humanity as a whole that like even small change would be significant change. I would say people can change because I feel like the second you think like people can't change, even if you're specifically talking about like narcissists, you begin to think that like no one can change. You're like, oh, he can't change. Maybe it's because he's a narcissist. And even like, because since it's true that like narcissists can't change, or since as we understand
I
it,
think, I don't know, I don't really
Yeah.
do much research on if they can change it. I did, basically, it was like 2% of them can change, and I was like, the fuck?
okay, what is this milk?
And then everything else I saw was like, no, they can't, don't worry about it, you need to get away from them.
But basically, if you like limit yourself to the mindset of like, even if you're like people can change but narcissists can't, and you understand that no people can't change, you start identifying people who can't
The
change.
whole last hour. But go ahead.
Yeah, as you start identifying people who can't change as a narcissist, even if they're not, and then you like stop trying to help them. I think that's where
Yeah.
problems can start to arise.
That's true.
So I think it's better to have like.
But
Try-
there's more than just that, though. It's like people who are addicted to stuff. The thing is, it's so hard to change that many people aren't capable of doing it, I feel like.
People don't have the will.
Yeah.
And
They
there's
don't want to enough, and they don't, yeah, they don't have the will.
This hits pretty close to home, but I was watching. Fuck. This hits pretty close to home, but recently I've been trying to better myself and self-improvement. And one of the things, it was like, I listened to this motivational video, and it was like, if you want to be more productive in the day, it's just one simple step. It was more shit to it, but it was basically like, just get up out of bed, just win the day, just wake up early. And that shit is a lot harder than you think.
Yeah.
Like, there are some days where, like, I wake up, or some weeks where, like, I wake
Especially if you have nothing to do.
Yeah, where I wake up consistently, like, all right, it's 7 o'clock, I'm in the shower by 8, and, I'm doing things. Other days, I'll wake up at, like, 11, 10, 9, or 8, and, like, I'll just go back to bed or shit like that. And it's, like, it's so hard for me to pull myself out of bed and, like, start doing things. It's, because I get more done, but it's just kind of, like, I'm the only one who's, like, holding myself accountable.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, I could just easily adjust, like, my measures of, like, what...
It's okay.
Yeah. I think it was, like, another thing I listened to was, like, if you want to change your life, change your standards. Things you don't
That's
hate.
true.
Yeah, things you don't hate, you allow. The things you allow become your reality.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Boundaries.
Boundary Village from Dad College. That's a reference you get as a proud member of Dad University.
Me?
Yeah. We both go there. You participate.
Those could have. You dead ass wanted me to.
I did. You didn't even go to
You tried to help me
you
get on that path.
You didn't even go to a day. Like, it was
No, I
an
didn't.
open house. You said, fuck that shit. I woke up late.
The thing is, I knew damn well I wasn't going there.
It still could have been a fun time,
It
though.
would have been so fun. That's the thing is, that's one of them things that's like,
It would have been
I
tempting.
want to do it, and I know it's not gonna happen, but I'm okay with pretending like it might happen for as long as possible.
That's dangerous, though.
I'm okay with lying to myself about it. Whatever.
Because then you expect other people to just moi.
Exactly.
But luckily, I caught on to it. And I changed. I just called you out on
How
it.
much is too? But the thing is, I knew I didn't want to take a loans out.
Well, the thing was, you could have just, like, went to, like, the thing to, like, for, like... Because I remember when I went to the Atlanta campus, I went there because of, like, it was for a... class. I mean, Pelicans
Oh
class.
yeah, I went to CVC's
Yeah.
for that shit.
But then I also went, like, one time in, like, September. And it could have been, like, a fun thing to do, even though, like, you weren't going, just, like, get up.
Yeah.
I think it's always important to know, like, what your life could be, instead of, like, focusing on what it is. Like, imagine if, like, you never left, like, our hometown.
I want to, but
I mean, like, if you, like, never, like, you know, like, how you go, like, on, like, trips to you go visit your family, like, for Christmas.
yeah,
What if, like, this was all you knew, like, this Targetto?
that's
and-
awful.
Yeah, you wouldn't know, like, what the world
And the
could
thing
be.
is, that doesn't end until you explore the whole world.
Yeah, you don't, until you, like, you know, give yourself the opportunity to see something different.
Yeah.
So that's what it could have been, just you given, like, a look of, like, even if you're not going there, you could aim for something that's more reasonable.
True.
That's what I wanted it to be, but, you know.
Whatever. It doesn't matter anymore.
Yeah. My favorite, Kimmy Schmidt, Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, is one of my favorite shows that has, like, witty dialogue and very positive attitude. But it kind of deals with trauma. That's the whole, like, main thing. It's like an underlying tone, but it's kind of like the show comes back to it a lot because Kimmy herself was, like, a mole woman, who was kept by a cult by, like, a reverend or whatever. And one of the episodes they asked, it's about, like, how Kimmy's life would have been different if, like, she never got kidnapped by the reverend cult leader. But yeah, well, that's what the show's about. Like her, like, coming out of the bunker where she was kept in a cult. And, like,
Really?
yeah.
I thought it was like a fucking cartoon. It's like, oh, it's goofy, it's like funny, and it's like not serious.
Well, it's an upbeat show, but, like, she's a quirky character and she's a weird person because she was in a bunker for so long. That's their justification as to why she's so goofy and weird. But the show gets pretty serious. Well, not serious, but it gets, like, it has serious moments in it. But basically, there's, like, an episode where, like, you know,
This is live action too, isn't it?
yeah, they explore, like, how, like, her life would have been different if she hadn't gone to, like, if she hadn't been kidnapped by the reverend.
Yeah.
And basically, at the end of the episode, it's like kind of like they're watching a movie or some shit. And like at the end of the episode, one of the characters, Titus, he acts like, "Hey, Kimmy, you ever think about how your life would have been different if, like, you hadn't been kidnapped?" And she's just dead ass. She's just kind of like, "No, because if I do, I won't be able to stop thinking about it. And honestly, there's nothing I can do about it because that's
Good
how my
point,
this is
yeah.
what my life is now, and I just can't I can't change the past, but I can, you know, work on what I'm doing and try to be better." That shit, it really stuck with me because it's kind of like she went to this, like, pretty, like, it's played up for, like, jokes all the time in this show, but it's like she was this pretty, like, terrible thing that many people wouldn't have been able to survive. She was definitely, like, the most headstrong person in the bunker, but she got out of it and she's doing things with her life. You know, she doesn't hate it. She wouldn't change that about her. Like,
Yeah, that's something about like psychological disorders, like being bipolar or like having eating disorders and stuff. There was like this one video, you know, Jubilee.
yeah,
It was just a bunch of them talking about how one of the questions was because they did ask some questions and they would like agree to
Middle ground?
Yeah. Wait, no.
not middle ground, spectrum.
Yeah, spectrum. And then one of the questions was, would you change that you had? Would you get rid of it if you had, or could have, or like, would you go back and make it so you never had it if you could?
Yeah,
And they were like, a lot of them were like, no, it made me who I am. So,
that's the thing. I feel like,
but some of them were like, yes, because I know I would be different, but I put my family through so much because of it.
yeah.
And they were like, the world's bigger than just me, you know?
Well, that's a pretty, like, humble, like, way to think about it. But I feel like, I don't know.
But that's different than what you were talking about.
Yeah, I think just hearing what she said is one of those moments in the show is like, this is a good ass show, but also it's kind of like made me realize kind of like it's not so much the cards you were dealt, but what you do with them.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'm gonna continue doing nothing with them. I'm gonna hold my hand, bitch.
You're doing something for the right now.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
you made me, pretty much.
I mean, you'll grow out of it, I hope.
No, I don't think so. People don't change.
If you have that, people do change. You're not a narcissist.
I don't honestly like. I used to be like, how can you say people don't change? I don't think they can.
I don't know.
People are the way they are.
I think people can change. Think about you. Our
How
friendship
have I changed?
Our friendship is
You can change like how you treat people or like
Is that not change?
how you view. It is, but I'm talking about like I can't be not lazy, or I can't be like.
Says who? Think about it like this.
I feel like that's true. You're right.
Yeah. Because we used to argue so fucking much with the most minuscule things in like 9th and 10th grade.
You just have to be aware that you changed.
Yeah, be
So
aware that you don't like doing that, and be like, that's because most of the times after we argued, we realized it was fucking stupid, and we would calm down and realize if we just like explain what we said in a less like aggressive manner, we wouldn't have even
We
had
haven't
that.
fought in a long ass time.
Yeah, we wouldn't have even argued in the first place.
Yeah.
And after like realizing that for so many times, we just kind of like became like self-aware, and we stopped doing it. So I think it's more so that like you have to be consistent of like being aware of it, and then eventually you'll stop.
Yeah.
That's the real thing, consistency. Because anyone can like do like one nice act or whatever, but like
It's so hard to do that though.
yeah, and doesn't like make them a good person. And like to do it constantly, that's the problem. Yeah, I think that was a pretty good first episode. I enjoyed it thoroughly. This is
Me too.
easily our longest episode, and I think we're off to a good start with the kind of.
Kindy salty.
We gotta cancel the whole podcast.
Not
No,
fucking recording.
fuck it. God damn it. Ah,